Back in the 1990s, when we were winning the argument and we had the support of the media, and there were all these great writers that took our side, pro-free speech. I mean, it was taken for granted. And people would make fun of the courses. They would look at the MLA, and there would be these silly courses on, I don't know, cross-dressing in medieval Valencia, or autoeroticism in the early Jane Austen.
Right.
And it was fun. And then the media, I think, got a little tired of it and thought it had gone away. It didn't go away. It got much worse. And if you look at the curriculum now, the courses that kids take, on Twitter, there's a Twitter site called Peer Review. And all he does is report abstracts, show abstracts in journals. It's so shocking. And it never ends. And you think they've reached the ultimate of madness. I mean, there was an article, just to give an example, and this isn't the worst, feminist glaciology. It's a feminist study of glaciers. It draws on feminist post-colonialism and feminist political ecology. What are these fields? There's a field, feminist political ecology. What do they read? And it must just be slogans and mixed with a little propaganda, a little paranoia thrown in. One course after the other. So are they taking history of Western civilization? Are they learning about art? Do they know major historical figures? No, but they know, they could talk about, these arcane little propagandistic topics.
Yes, so the core curriculum was abandoned, okay, as these new microfields came in, women's studies, African American studies, and so on, and identity politics sort of changed the curriculum in the 1970s. So then all of a sudden the whole history of Western art, well, that's classist, it's racist, et cetera, we have to abandon that. And so what you have now is a whole generation, in fact 2 generations probably, of graduate students who are incapable actually of ever teaching in a broad narrative way, okay, the old wonderful survey courses.
Right.
Now what I'm calling for, okay, is an attack upon the curriculum, a reduction by 60% of all these electives, these silly electives thrown out, okay, and a compulsory return, okay, to teaching within these core ideas, right, that are oriented toward ancient to modern. Because another thing, in addition to what you just mentioned, the fragmentation, is that too many courses now are dated in the present. They're present from after the Enlightenment or even after the 19th century. Okay, so you have a real imbalance in the curriculum. So that the young people have no sense, okay, of the ancient civilizations and the way they rose and fell, okay, over time. They have no idea of the world. They think that all the evils of the world are isolated in Western culture. They have no idea about the atrocities and the oppressions of empires all over the world. And so on. So what we need to do, I discover in my students, coming from a broad range of preparations, from now and then there'll be a private school student, but mostly they come from good suburban schools or from bad inner city schools, and they know absolutely nothing about the chronology of human life. Okay, and hence they look around them and they see things that are flaws in our current system, and they believe that these flaws can be fixed, and that all other cultures in the history of the world were somehow a paradise on earth. Okay, when in fact we're enjoying the most liberties ever as women.
All these students who are so hostile to the United States because it's a capitalist, cis, hetero-patriarchal, oppressive, imperialist system, these sorts of terms are taken seriously. Well, compared to what? What other country? I mean, we're far from perfect, but we're a struggling democracy that's done more to address racism and classism and sexism than any country I'm aware of. And but it's almost as if they don't know that. And they don't know that, well, we have experimented with systems, that don't have free markets, and they didn't work out very well. The students don't seem to know that. They don't know the history of communism.
Oh, they have no sense of economics or much less
economic illiteracy.
Yeah.
And so they very confidently and they've been taught in their classes. And what astonishes me as someone who was a professor of many years, I always thought it was a sacred commandment, thou shalt teach both sides of the argument. Right. So in any philosophy class, I would make sure, whatever we were studying, I'd try to bring, the best that was thought and said on both sides. Well, in these classrooms, in many classrooms, it could be, and especially anthropology, sociology, Not philosophy. Philosophy is so far immune to this, although it has other problems.
Literature throughout the humanities.
Literature, and then of course gender studies, all the ethnic studies classes. It's largely one point of view. I mean, they have their doctrinal feuds, but it's the gamut from A to B. They leave out all other perspectives. Conservatives aren't there, heaven forbid. Libertarian perspectives not there. Common sense has no place. And so the students have this sense that they've been exposed to, you know, what is, you know, they take to be settled knowledge. It's not settled.